So I was born in Bangladesh, and after my first birthday, my family and I moved to Saudi Arabia. We lived there for 12 years, and after that we came to Canada, and I've been living in Canada for the past 10 years. In Saudi Arabia, the way I was treated, if I reflect back on that now, I can pick up on certain things, but during my time that I was there, I was very young, so I was in my own world, I guess you could say, forming friendships, growing up with friends. But now when I look back, yes, there was a sort of a boundary between the local Saudi communities and the migrant communities. So there were people from other parts of the world as well, and there was a very strong Bangladeshi community that was very attached. So I guess what ends up happening is that the migrant communities end up living in a bubble, and the only interaction that you might have is in the workplace. Schools were also from different parts of the world. So I went to a Bangla school, a Pakistani child would have gone to a Pakistani school, a Filipino child would go to a Filipino school. So in that sense also, you were kind of, always retained in that bubble. So there wasn't enough interaction between the migrant communities and the local Saudi community. In Canada, it was different because as soon as I came here, I was exposed to all different cultures. The reason why we came to Canada from Saudi Arabia was primarily my education and my siblings' education. Because I did my elementary schooling there. I studied there up to grade 9, and at that point my family thought that it would be wise to immigrate to Canada because I guess because Saudi Arabia had a policy of, I'm not sure if it was an official policy, but it was not encouraged that foreign students enroll in local Saudi universities. So everybody either had to go back to Bangladesh or look for other options. So when I went to grade 9, that's when my parents decided that we should immigrate to Canada so that I can finish my high school there, here, and then so that the transition to my university education would be smooth. For me, both for me and for my siblings. When I entered the education experience in Canada, it was good in a sense that I found a lot of great friends immediately. My friends were very supportive. The community was very supportive. And there were some instances of discrimination, not in an overt sense, but there was stereotyping and racist ideologies that did circulate to some extent, which I was naive about at that point. I wasn't paying too much attention to it. But now when I think back, that I have serious issues with those kind of experiences. I think the integration issue goes both ways. Sometimes immigrant communities, when they come to Canada, there might be a sense of culture shock in varying degrees. So that might hold back, I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but that might hold back some people from integrating. But I think it also works the other way as well. I think even though Canada is seen to be a very multicultural place, I think there is very much a monoculture that operates especially within the school system, even though it's not forced in a direct sense, but there is a psychological sort of thing operating here that you have to follow a dominant culture or else, you will be kind of isolated.